G'day folks, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. Welcome back to the Waning Moon Inn, I believe this is called. I don't know if it's an inn actually, it might just be a tavern to be honest. And in the previous episode we had a couple of really bad rolls in a couple of different situations, resulting in the need for us to fight some, I presume, very unnecessary fights. So yeah, it is very unfortunate. I'm very happy that we managed to, you know, have a sleep before doing any of this, because yeah, we would have been in trouble. So, a couple of our guys are going first. Will, I'm interested in him just casting haste on blue so that we can essentially just, you know, move a lot more often and get a lot more attacks in. I think that's maybe a decent thing to get off early. And with blue, I'm not entirely confident about his positioning right now. I feel like maybe it might be a good idea to get him to take the high ground. Maybe up in this position, or maybe even here. So I might even use his Misty Step immediately. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we want to do at this stage. Not a lot of options from a like bonus action perspective. He could probably do Misty Step, though I don't mind keeping Will together with the party. Actually, blue might actually have some difficulty breaking off with the rest of the group because purely the whole, you know, Shadow Curse situation. So maybe I can't really do what I wanted to do with blue. Perhaps maybe we can tuck him up this way.
Blood comes easy these days.
And he'll have to fight this blighted patron right here, which, you know, I don't mind him having to do that. The trouble is, how do we make him get there? We can jump him up this way. That might not be bad, but we might also need to just consider all of our other options here. So I'd prefer if some of these enemies have to sort of come in and close the distance to us. Perhaps maybe we can funnel them into the ramp space over here. That might not be a bad plan. Yeah, that seems like a decent plan to me. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. So if I jump him here, I should still be able to cast this down into this position, which should then force almost everything to try and go through the spikes. Unless they're clever enough to do what the last group did, which is then to, you know, perhaps maybe do a detour. Forcing them to do a detour might not be too bad either, so that we can essentially control the amount of turns that they take. I also should take a look at a lot of these zombies in a little bit more detail to see what kind of damage we might need to deal with to them. So no necrotic damage, so that's fine. Poison, immunity, okay. I suppose most of them might actually be quite similar, except for Thisibald. Thisibald Thorm, the wretched distiller. Numb. Your puny attacks can't break through the numbness Thisibald feels. He is immune to slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, and thunder damage. What? Completely immune. Oh, that is a problem. Physical damage has added gas to Thisibald's special brew, letting him use Roaring Belch. Physical damage. Does that mean that I shouldn't do any physical attacks against him? I mean, we've already read about numb and what that means. Roaring Belch. Let out a colossal burp, possibly push nearby objects and creatures back 5 meters. On a successful Constitution saving throw, target still takes half damage. That's pretty brutal. But it's this numb that I'm more concerned about. Immune to slashing. Like, that's our bread and butter right there, so I need to be casting spells on this thing. So Will and Shadowheart are going to need to focus their efforts trying to take Thisibald down. I wonder if Blue can still do some psychic damage to it using the bow, but like, does it require a hit though? While concentrating on a spell, the wearer's weapon attacks deal an additional 1 to 4 psychic damage. As long as we are concentrating, maybe. Goodness. Alright, this is a worrisome fight. Probably even more worrisome than the previous one that we had against those zombie Justiciars. Yeah, let's do this. Let's reposition. And I am going to throw that down there. Immune to piercing damage. Okay, so he can still chase us pretty much. That's gonna be a problem. But at least other things are going to need to go through here unless this one decides to go around. This guy's obviously a problem. I think we should focus our efforts on taking down some of the smaller, weaker enemies first before doing anything else.
Holding back.
I should have gone in with haste first. My bad. That was definitely wasted. Although, I think I'm happy that I did that because I'd prefer maybe placing haste on Will himself in this case. Just because towards the end of the fight we're going to have to cast spells against this thing, and that's going to be obviously a big problem for us. So let's do that. Let's do haste as our first action. And brand the weak. Vulnerable to bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage. I don't suppose I can do that on this guy though, since he's immune to all of that. So should I just immediately cast that on? Okay, right. I'm gonna need to be engaged with the enemy to do that. I think it might not be a bad idea for us to do Fireball. Thunder damage he's immune to, right? So Chromatic Orb. It does thunder damage though. Alternatively, choose a different type of damage. Okay, so it doesn't have to be thunder damage, is that what it's saying there? I think so. Do I want to use my last spell slot on something else though? Definitely can't do that. No concentration spells. Yeah, I think we do a straight up fireball. And since these guys are bunched up right now, I think this is our opportunity early on. So let's do that.
This battle's taken a heated turn.
Burning reflux? Fire damage has ignited Thisibald's special brew, letting him use fiery regurgitation? Oh lord, a sip from the brewer's special booze causes him to vomit fire. Oh, and he's taking a turn next, and we're all bunched up as well. That's, yeah. I'm really worried. And did I just... Why is the place glowing? What is this thing? Outreach destination. It seems like we'd be able to interact with this thing, but maybe it explodes. If we can lure him there, I don't know. Yeah, this guy's going to die, hopefully, in the next turn. Unless he saves. Let's bring Will up this way. And... yeah, okay, we can't brand the weak now. All good. Let's end our turn here.
Never a dull moment.
Oh, yikes. That is so bad. Oh, this is really, really bad. It doesn't move very far. I wonder if that's because of the terrain. I think what we want to do is to try and kite this guy.
Ready.
Shadowheart needs a heal. We're gonna do Beacon of Hope. That'll consume the action. But then we should be able to do like more healing and stuff. I might even Sanctuary, maybe. That's a concentration spell. Sanctuary is not a concentration spell. And perhaps maybe I can cast concentration, Sanctuary on Shadowheart to protect her. I'm glad she has Scorching Ray now. She should be able to use that against the boss when needed. I'm just gonna tuck Quaff down that way. Oh, I think we are provoking something. Oh yeah, Shadow Curse. Forgot about that. Oh well. We'll respawn Quaff when we need it.
I've got this.
Karlach. I suppose we're just going to try and clear the way. So let's go for it.
Say bye-bye.
Let's do Distracting Strike, maybe. Allies have advantage on their attack rolls. Yep, good. So
Bye forever, pal.
I think I'm happy with that. Is she burning? Yeah, she is. So she's going to take a little bit of extra damage there. That's pretty bad. So is Shadowheart, actually.
What should I do?
End her turn. Shadowheart. Tricky.
Got to move.
I think I am going to do Beacon of Hope. And let's use Healing Word on ourselves. And we'll keep moving her up this way. Again, I think kiting is our only option here. Yeah, these guys are probably going to try and make it all around. Oh, no. They are stepping into the spike growth. That's good. And what we could do if we're seeing that we're dealing with a lot more of these guys going through the same spot, we could always recast spike growth somewhere else. I'm thinking... Yeah, we do need to stick together, that's the other thing. I think we'll do this. A couple of shots down here. This guy might die. And then Karlach's just gonna deal with the patron over here. Yeah, because if I kill the patron here, I think that'd be a bit of a waste of actions for Karlach, because then she'd not really have too much more to do. Better to try and kill this guy off. And then we'll sort of circle around, maybe get this guy. Alright, let's execute. Yep. Okay. Can I get Thunder... Oh, hang on. Mental fatigue. Affected entity has a -1 penalty to Wisdom, Intelligence, and Charisma saving throws for every turn remaining. I'm not sure how we managed to get that on him. Radiating Orb. I'm gonna try to see if we can deal the Psychic and the Lightning damage. I don't know if that's a thing, if we can't even hit the piercing damage, but it's not like I can really do anything else. I mean, I can try and kill this guy. Yep, that's definitely a possibility. So you can deal a tiny bit of damage, and that's good enough if you ask me. Let's try to move in this general direction. So, blue's probably going to be Shadow Cursed. And that's okay, because we're going to have Will move up very soon anyway.
Time to push my luck again.
That who favors the fearless.
Okay, so... I guess this is a good opportunity for us to try Chromatic Orb now. And... I think it's thunder damage that he's immune to, so we may as well do something like lightning. Or even fire if we really wanted to. Hang on. What other options do we have? The lighting's going a little bit weird here, isn't it? Eldritch Blast. Yeah, I think I'll go with Chromatic Orb. We'll see what this can do. I'm kind of curious to see the spell in action anyway. 65%.
Might will prevail.
War God's Blessing. Okay, decent. And we haven't ignited the... like, the drink or the swill that he's carrying behind him, so that's a good thing. Oh, we can cast another spell actually. I didn't realize that. Yes, he's got haste on, that's right. So what do we do? I don't want to use any concentration spells, obviously. Poison spray. 33%. I think, yeah. I think our bread and butter needs to be relied on here. Might need to move down slightly. Okay, let's run. And I want to be as far away as possible from him.
I know just what to do.
Good. And I suppose I can move this way. These guys will still have the protection. That's good. Let's end our turn here. I'm hoping this thing... yeah, okay, he's gonna have to dash. Oh, and he's got burning there. That's good. Perfect. Alright, so he can't really move anymore, but... if we stay in this position... he's gonna have to... well, if we stay in this position... he's going to actually be able to do heaps of damage to us, so we need to make sure that we're moving after this. Yeah, let's go in with... I may as well not do Frenzied Strike, to be honest, because that puts strain. So maybe just... wow, okay, yeah. Just needed one more. I'm just trying to think of whether or not I should use Shadowheart to take out the patron, but I don't think so, because if we're going to use any of her spells, we may as well save it for Thistlebolt. Thistlebolt? Yeah, that's right. That's the name. Okay, so... as far away as we can. Let's run that way. And...
Can't give up.
Shadowheart. We could do a heal. Is that what we want to do, though? kind of want to deal some damage here. Why am I not seeing the option for our weapon spell, Sunbeam? Where is that? Yeah, I don't know why that managed to come off for whatever reason, but anyway. I may as well make use of this, right? It'll be our action. I could then do Mass Healing Word after. Or I could do Scorching Ray, but then we could trigger his special attack. So why don't we do just this? We might destroy a few things in background. Ooh, I just realized, but there's that. I suppose I didn't really have the right opportunity to use that though. Would have been nicer if we had more enemies bunched up to use Sunbeam, but I'm okay with casting it on just Thistlebolt. 25? It's decent? Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate right there. We could do Spiritual Weapon, actually. That's not a bad option. And we could leave the Spiritual Weapon here as a distraction. Actually, the Spiritual Weapon doesn't deal any elemental damage, right? Which means it's going to be useless. Maybe it'll just be fodder or something like that if we really wanted to do that, but I don't think so. Sanctuary? Could we do Sanctuary on Shadowheart? I guess if he does an AoE attack though, it wouldn't really matter. Until the affected entity attacks or harms another creature, it cannot be targeted by enemy attacks. However, it can still take damage from spells that influence a larger area. Yeah, okay. Probably not the best choice. Let's move in that direction. And I think I will take the Mass Healing Word. Just improve our chances. Okay. Yes. I like that. Alright. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be too many of these guys, so not really too much of an issue. So what I can do is, I think I'll leave this guy to Karlach. I think I'm still going to take my two weapon attacks on Thistlebolt. And I will actually do Hunter's Mark as well. Let me just have a look at that. Mark a creature as your primary, sorry, as your quarry to deal an additional 1 to 6 piercing damage when you hit it with a weapon attack. If the target dies before the spell ends, you mark, or you can mark a new creature without expending a spell slot. That probably doesn't really do us any favors, purely because it's immune to piercing damage, right? So we may as well do something else. I'm sort of hoping that I could do something else with an action, but maybe not. Spend 6 of your movement speed for the rest of your roll, or your turn, roll range damage twice and use the highest result. I still don't think that's going to affect the damage that we deal with psychic or the thunder damage, or sorry, the lightning charge damage. Okay, well, I suppose illithid powers, maybe? Again, they're all going to consume an action. Ooh, actually, this might be a good option. You must be concentrating on another spell to cast this. If the target was concentrating, you heal as much as the damage that was dealt. I don't think he's concentrating on anything, but we can deal the damage at the very least. I think that's a good idea, because I don't really need any of this anymore. So let's do it. Nice. Okay. Chipping away at it. Better than nothing at all. Alright, so let's move in this direction. I really don't want to destroy too many more things, because obviously there's loot to be had. And if we're really desperate, obviously I still have Misty Step to use as well. And if we're really desperate to make sure Shadowheart survives, I could throw potions and stuff. Maybe we could get Karlach to do that.
On the victor's path.
Okay. What's our move here? Well, I would say... Okay, we need to close the distance for that. I think Eldritch Blast is really the only thing we can do at the moment. Hang on. Two-handed, which means that we would be putting away the lantern, which we don't want. Yeah. I don't know how useful that is, because I would need to dash before I even get the charges. So what would be nice is if we could get a hamstring shot on this guy, but would he even be affected by a hamstring shot though, considering his immunity? That much I'm not too clear on. Eldritch Blast it is, I think. Advantage. Because he's blinded. Nice. And another. Good. Let's move. Yeah, he can move pretty far, can't he? I don't want him to get too far ahead of himself, but perhaps maybe just in this spot here.
Coming through.
Yeah, I think that's probably the extent of my movement there. If I don't want Shadowheart taking any damage from the Shadow Curse in the next turn, so I think he's going to have to dash again to try and catch up to us, so that should be enough. Ooh, no. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I was thinking that he needed to dash, but I was wrong. Perhaps maybe it was definitely the difficult terrain then that was slowing him down. Perhaps. In which case, maybe Blue's spikes might still come in handy. Maybe. Okay, Karlach, you're up. Please clear the way for us.
Well, well. Look what we have here.
And another. And another. Good. Oh! Oh yes, that's right. They do have... well, I forget what it's called, but they don't die after hitting 0. Damn. Alright,
Got to focus.
she's in trouble. We could do Spirit Guardians, sort of switch our concentration on that. There's the one that we didn't really get to use. This Guardian of Faith. Attacks nearby enemies, but every time it deals damage, the Guardian loses an equal amount of hit points. Problem is, I don't know if that deals elemental type damage or not. Because that's what we need to even dent this thing. Oh, this is a toughie. I think what I'll be able to do is do Guiding Bolt and then Sanctuary on ourselves. That should let us break off from this thing. Yeah, I think that's a decent plan. Come on. Oh no, he's got burning reflux again. Okay, at least we can move Shadowheart to the front here. Let's end her turn. Oh, these patrons, they're not even do anything? I feel a little bit bad. I feel bad that that we're killing all of them then. But they are sort of bunching up against us, right? Like, I assume they're still going to attack us in some form. This might not be a bad idea to redo, just to prevent him from being able to traverse that fast against us. So we'll delay him a little bit. Or hamstring shot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would work. Let's put it there. Okay, he's no longer concentrating. That's good. Will I be able to do this again? Yeah, I can actually. So once he's past the spikes, we should be able to just simply cast Concentrated Blast. I'm gonna see if I can do an attack here. Yeah. Looks good to me. Offhand attack.
What do I have to lose?
Good. And let's move up a little further. And then
This is my
we'll
time.
long do we have for haste? Still another 7 turns, so that's pretty good. I don't know if many battles, many fights go past 10 turns. For all intents and purposes, 10 turns may as well be for the entire battle. War God's Blessing, yep. Nice. We're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Let's... We will...
Coming through.
Don't want him to get too far away. The Shadowheart still needs that protection. But yeah, this looks good to me. And I'm really, really hoping that he needs to use a dash or something like that, because I don't know if Shadowheart's going to be able to take another hit. Karlach is going to need to maybe throw a potion or something. Yes, okay, this is good. Oh, he's taking 1 lightning damage. Okay. I guess it's from all of that. Is that because of our Jolt Shooter? Possibly. And because Shadowheart still has a Sanctuary, even if it did catch up without using Dash, it wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. Alright, so... Arcane Ammunition. We could use that and just attack it using the crossbow. But what I really want to do is... Oh, god damn. Oh, this is so bad. Does it count as an action if I transfer over a potion to Karlach? Okay. Okay, good. I can still do that. So the idea really is I want Shadowheart to backtrack this way as far as possible. But then we do still want to take an action. I think Beacon of Hope we can keep for the time being. I want to do another Guiding Bolt, I think. Target is too close. So, let me just move Shadowheart, like over here, for instance. And then... Yeah, okay. Maybe even further away. Okay. I'm just concerned about being interrupted, or the pathway being interrupted. So I will cast this, even if it's almost a coin flip. Oh, nice crit. Okay, and then we can sort of tuck her away just over here. And then... we could do Healing Word. I don't know if I should just simply use like a level 4 Healing Word. 7 isn't really a lot. Maybe I could do a level 2. What does that do? Heals an additional 1 to 4 per level. So instead of 7, we'll be getting, what, 11? Brings her up to 24. That's decent.
Take two.
And then... And her turn there. Karlak will come this way.
No surrender.
What I want to do is I want to throw a potion of greater healing to the ground right here to heal both of us. Nice, and we get maximum amount of healing there because of the blessing that we still have. And Karlak can continue down this way. She still has one more action. And what I'll do is I'll actually do arcane ammunition. And then we can do that. We'll see if it does any damage whatsoever. Well, not if it misses, obviously, but we'll give it another go later. This could be painful right here, because he's very close. So the question that I'm asking myself right now is, do I take the damage from Concentrated Blast and risk him getting close enough to Shadowheart to be able to take action? Actually, he'll probably be able to reach even where Karlak is and be able to, you know, cast whatever, you know, spell or action that he has. Or do I delay him further with Spike Growth and chip away at him? I think the latter is maybe a safer bet. Which means that I need to maybe bring blue back a little bit this way. Before I take my action though,
This is my
it
time.
might be a good idea for us to do what we need to do with Will. Yeah, we're getting there, and that way I'll be able to move Will all the way, perhaps maybe down here.
Coming through.
Oh shit. I forgot about Shadowheart. Oh, apparently she's still protected. So, it's not too bad. I didn't think that this thing would provide protection that far. So, anyway, she is protected, so that's good. Let's go back to blue.
Still on my feet.
And the reason why I wanted to do Will first mainly is because I just wanted the largest amount of area that he would have to traverse through, although Shadowheart is kind of in the way, isn't she? I think I'll do this. Yeah, so one... What was that? Psychic? No, lightning damage. Thanks to the lightning charges, I'm thinking. So... That's good. Let's continue this way. And I think that's it. That's all we can do for the time being.
The blade will not bend.
And because she's protected by Sanctuary, won't be able to do anything anyway. Yes. Good. Really, really like that. I could heal further with Karlach, but I think that might not be necessary. I probably just want to give our ranged attack a bit of a go because we do have arcane ammunition on. Infuse your crossbow bolts. Your ranged weapon attacks deal 1 to 4 damage. Oh, it's only for 1 turn, so we won't be able to do this anymore. Damn it, okay. I think it's better if we do Shadowheart first then, get her out of the way.
Onward.
What? How did that happen? Hang on. Does she not have Sanctuary anymore? Oh, hang on. Hang on. How does she not have Sanctuary anymore? Yeah, maybe I missed something, but somehow she doesn't have Sanctuary anymore. Alright, let's do... I mean, she's already safe now that, you know, Thistlebolt has missed the opportunity attack there, so let's bring Shadowheart all the way down. I think we can do Guiding Bolts once more. 55%. Or do we do something else? 36 damage. What do we have here? I'm gonna try to do maybe even more damage. I'll do like a level 3 in the hopes to kill here. Oh! Oh my lord. That was so bad. Why? Alright. Well, it do be like that sometimes. Let's end our turn. I want to save the level 3 spell slot for doing a mass healing word if we need it.
What's this?
But yeah, we should be able to now throw Alchemist's Fire here, and what I'll do is just do... How's the path interrupted? We'll do that. Okay, so it'll take like additional damage when it needs to come through here. Let's move ourselves all the way back down, or hang on. I could do another Alchemist's Fire. That might not be a bad idea. Maybe up this way. Okay, just a little bit of damage. Better than no damage whatsoever.
Tactical.
Okay, good stuff. And now... I might be able to kill using Concentrated Blast here, and I am going to take the risk, because he is pretty far. Shadowheart might have to tank some damage if we miss this, though. Let's do it. Okay. Yep. Not as much damage as I would have liked, but...
Another step forward.
On the victor's path.
just let Will do his thing. It's a bit far, isn't he? %. Yeah, okay, that's better odds. He does have a lot of movement speed, which is why I'm comfortable doing this. Let's see how far he can get. Still pretty far. Let's move him up a tiny bit more. Still 55. Oh, okay. Doesn't really change too much, does it? Please. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, and we are inspired. I love it. Whew, that was a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest, because had we not strategized properly there and, you know, did a little ring around the rosy type strategy, I think we would have died 100%. He did manage to get like one attack, maybe a couple of attacks off, which made it quite difficult for us, but let's see. I'm tempted to just do like a long rest immediately, but we've got a few spell slots. Perhaps maybe a short rest is definitely in order, but
No one's stopped me yet.
I think we can push it a little bit more here. We've still got even a level 4 spell slot as well. What's definitely needed though is for us, our summons to be recast. So let's do that. And yeah, we should be able to just do that. A lot of leveling up that needs to be done. Probably not going to do that like immediately. We'll tuck that for the next episode, I reckon. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that we should hopefully be able to look into here.
The gods are watching me.
Firstly, what do you have tucked away? A key. Plenty of booze and ingredients. Okay, good. About some of these patrons and other undeads. Not really too much.
No traps, please.
So the ledgers should be somewhere around here, maybe at the counter. Ah, good thing we've opened all of the stuff over there already, so didn't really make any difference, us destroying some of the barrels and whatnot. Okay, so the lower floor. What do we have going on here?
Don't mind if I do.
We all failed the perception checks there. What are we supposed to be looking at, though? A rat bat? The hell? 1 to 8 damage. Rat catcher. Attack rolls against beasts have advantage. This is the spot where we need to find the ledger, right? Unless maybe there's cellar. And maybe it's underneath us. Whoops. Let's see if we can try and get through here. Nice. Are we done here, though? I think there's a little bit more for us to look at. Why don't we just check out the rest of this area before we proceed through the door? This thing here is no longer glowing. I guess maybe there was something to do with the boss fight that I completely ignored. I don't know if we attacked it, whether or not we could have done damage to the boss itself. But I don't know. I don't know if it's related or not.
Something good here.
Well met.
Okay, where does this lead? Okay, we've been through here. Grab that. Oh, missed that one.
Let's see what this does.
Waning Moon Distillery. No last call until the casks are dry.
Seriously? We have to go all the way up there. Alright, there's a few bits and pieces over here. Okay, we finally did that perception check. I don't know what exactly we're supposed to be looking for. Maybe it has something to do with that, or is it something to do with... Perhaps, maybe this is covering a entrance to the cellar, in which case I would probably want to grab the rest of our party members to just redo that check. Maybe it's not a bad thing to do, because I want to bring Astarion out here, and we'll take him to see that trader. Okay, enough of that. Just want to check out what's going on back this way. Nice. Anything else? I don't think so. I do want to redo these checks, though. Where does this take us? To a little bit of loot. Could be booby-trapped or something. I'm really curious about these checks though, so let me go to the camp, and what I'm gonna do is just grab various team members that haven't really been traveling with us. And maybe that's a good thing, actually. Maybe we can tuck Shadowheart away in particular, and maybe replace her with Gale, for instance.
How can I help? Would that I could. Magical.
Astarion...
What can I do for you? Well, obviously I would.
Yeah, you
but
can
have
take
so
Will's
many...
place.
Excellent. Now that...
And... yeah, let's take Lae'zel as well. So, strangely, I haven't seen a need to level up Shadowheart.
Greetings.
Has she not gotten all of the same experience points?
You're
Yeah.
full up. Dismiss someone for good.
Not bad. With Shadowheart, though, there is something that I want to do. And I may as well do it now. Sorry, not Shadowheart. With Lae'zel, rather. I'm thinking of giving her the Helldusk set. I think it makes sense for her to have it. Let me just grab the Helldusk set first. I think those are the only two pieces. Is there anything else that was related to it? Oh, sorry, there's the helmet as well. So let's just double check and see, you know, if it makes sense for every single piece to be equipped by her. I mean, she definitely has something that's not so special with the plate armor. So if we place that in there, her armor class doesn't change, but she's got a few other benefits here. So lesser infernal retribution. You're hit by a foe within 2 meters, it might take 1 to 4 fire damage. Good for a melee combatant, I think. Superior plate. Yep. I mean, decent. What does she have now? Gloves of Power. Absolute's Bane. On a hit with a weapon attack, possibly inflict minus 1d4 penalty to the target's attack rolls and saving throws. Plus 1 sleight of hand. I think it's alright. Lesser Infernal Touch. Your weapon attacks deal an additional 1 to 4 fire damage. Your unarmed attacks, which doesn't really count for us. And then we get plus 1 strength saving throws, which is good for her because if we need anyone with good strength, it's always going to be Lae'zel to do some of that sort of stuff anyway, right? So the question is, do we want to replace the circlet? When you succeed a saving throw, the foe that caused the throw takes 1 to 4 psychic damage. Githyanki also gain plus 1 to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So that's interesting. I probably wouldn't really be using Lae'zel to do intelligence, wisdom, or charisma checks. I do like the psychic damage, but it's situational for when, you know, the enemy's trying to apply something to us. Whereas this gives us plus 2 on saving throws against spells, and plus 1 constitution saving throw. It's tough. It's also conditional, isn't it? Because she may or may not have a lot of spells thrown at her, right? I kind of feel like maybe the Helldusk helmet is something that we don't need to put on. Maybe we can keep going with the Circlet of Psionic Revenge. It also looks nicer on her. There's that element as well. Let's just send that to camp. We'll send these to camp as well. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot completely of the derivation cloak. I need to figure out someone who's going to poison enemies. I suppose it could be good for Karlach or Lae'zel because we've given them plenty of poisons. And I think that's probably the highest chance that we will get the benefit from. Yeah, so I think that's good. Doesn't look too bad on her as well, so there. But let's head back, because the whole purpose of this is for us to redo those checks, so let's see if we can find out what's going on out there. Oh, goodness. Yes, completely forgot about... Hang on. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Ugh. I forgot. I totally forgot about the lantern. Did we succeed those checks? I don't know.
You cannot use that right now.
Oh no. Oh lord. Okay. That is really painful. Alright, guys. I probably will release the video on this. I mean, I could easily just scrap the entire hour of footage and not worry about it and just redo this whole fight. But I think you guys won't really get my reaction to learning how to deal with the boss. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do the fight on my own because, you know, you guys all know how that panned out. Who knows, we could be worse off, or, you know, we could be in a better position by the time we come back to the next episode. But I think I'll restart where I made the very stupid mistake of leaving the lantern behind. And yeah, I mean, that was a really bad situation because I don't think I could have saved myself whatsoever, right? Like, as soon as I came back, like, I basically couldn't leave because I didn't have the lantern on me. So, yes, learning from our mistakes here. Anyway, I'm gonna bid you guys farewell at the very same spot that we began the episode. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Definitely going to be interesting to see the comments down below. But yeah, drop me a like if you enjoyed it. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one.